afternoon, you all. I want to start off by asking a question. How do you define success? Now, as you take a second to think about that, I'm going to walk you through what success means to me. Success to me is freedom. Being able to wake up when you want to, travel when you want to, actually living and not just existing. I found my way to success by forming daily habits that have helped me reach my goals each year. Sometimes it takes a period of isolation to get to where you want to get in life. Where your peers go out every weekend to escape the harsh realities that they have to face come Monday morning, you stay home, study your craft, and block out the noise. The instant gratifications of life will always be there. 1 year of pure focus can put you 5 years ahead of your peers. Success requires sacrifice. No matter what you consider success, you're going to have to do some work to get there. There's going to be some tough times, but remember, any challenge that's thrown your way, you have the tools to overcome it. So I want to ask you guys again, how do you define success? Write it down, then write down the small goals and sacrifices that you're going to have to do to get there. And lastly, remember, never doubt your abilities to achieve what you want to achieve in life. My name is Carlos Harris. I'm a 28-year-old entrepreneur, and I want to walk you through some of the chapters of my life of difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week. And the first chapter is going to be humble beginnings. I think in life, we all have a period where we face something and we have to be humble. And in my case, my first humbling thing was a college dropout. It's one of the most humbling things because in society, everyone looks at you as if you're nothing, you couldn't finish, and you couldn't execute what was asked of you. And it was the first L that I ever took in my life outside of my parents' home. I had the option to go back home, stay with my dad, or stay with my mom, but I chose to take the humbling experience to go sleep on my sister's couch. And I did that because I actually had to go face what I needed to face in life, and that was myself. It's because I was a functioning depressant. As I went through college, I drowned everything with alcohol, hanging out, and just doing the instant gratifications of life that we all fall into. But I had to take a look in the mirror and actually say, Carlos, what is it that you want to do in life? Where do you want to take your life? And what is it that you need to do to make change? Another thing in college that I experienced that a lot of people do too is bad credit. Another humbling experience. I couldn't even get an apartment in my own name. As cool as I was throughout my entire life, I couldn't go get an apartment. I had to sleep on my sister's couch, and I had to take a humbling look in the mirror and remember that this was the first life L that I ever had to take, and I had to bounce back from this. So what was it that I had to do? I had to rebuild. I had to eliminate the distractions that I had in my life, whether it be going out and partying or just focusing on women, girls, whatever you want to call it. I didn't have anything that actually had structure. So eliminating distractions, and one thing that helped me really do that was moving in with a roommate called Chris Williams. Chris Williams had more structure to his life than I did. At the time, coming out of college playing football, you would think that I had structure. I didn't. And one thing I thoroughly remember was Chris was really into fitness. So we had a jar that we picked from every single day. And with my drinking habits at the time, I couldn't run half a mile. And he would pick one that said 4 miles. I started off at half a mile. And I ran that half a mile, sore every single day that I ran that half mile, but we got up to 4. I pushed myself because I wanted something. So every single day, I eliminated more and more distractions. And we sat in the living room and we said, hey, we want to save $10,000. And we focused on what it would take to get there every single week, the amount of hours that we had to put in at work, the amount we had to put back every single week. We did that. We created daily habits. And daily habits is what makes you successful in life. Your habits become your destiny. So those habits that we created every single day formed a routine that helped me get to where I am today. And I was waking up at 5:30 every single morning, running that 3 miles, 4 miles, 5 miles. And one time we got up to 10. It was one of the most accomplishing things that I've done in my fitness journey. So as we continued to build those daily habits, I started to focus on things that I really wanted to do in life. And that was take my life to the next level and taking that lead. I worked a job at Zena. Most of you guys might be familiar with that. It's a local, I would say Zena is a Thai restaurant. So I worked there, and I could feel the vibrations that came from that place. A lot of people would no-show, just coming to work with a lazy attitude and it reflected on me as a person, I would show up with a lazy attitude. And I just knew that wasn't me as a person and as a whole. So I took a step to place myself in a better position. I went and worked a valet job. And a valet job for me was a step up. I felt a little bit more confident in myself. I felt like I was something, because at that point in my life, I don't think I ever let my parents down. And I felt like at that point, I was really, really in a down spot to where I didn't make them proud. And that's one of the things that I cherish the most, is seeing a smile on my mom's face, seeing a smile on my dad's face, and anybody around me that supports me. So I had to take that leap. It was a humbling thing to go park cars and open doors, and really in just simple terms, ask people how they're doing, and I really didn't care, because my focus was somewhere else. I wanted to go create and put myself out to the world on the internet, as we know as influencing, but I really just wanted to be myself and take that leap. So after 6 months of working at the valet job and getting in trouble for sitting at the back in the cars that I was supposed to be pulling up, because I was sending emails to companies to try to go work for them and actually get some real money in my pocket, I decided to start flourishing into being my own boss. Now, being your own boss nowadays is glorified, and people think it's really easy, and they take it for granted and never really see the work that's put in behind the scenes. It's a lot of dark times. It's a lot of crying at your desk. It's just a lot of self and inner thoughts of quitting or maybe giving up on yourself, but at the end of the day, the pain of regret lasts so much longer than the pain of just to keep going. So I wanted to be my own boss. So I took a trip to New York. I took that trip to New York knowing that I wouldn't have a job when I came back, because my boss, Kevin Chu, told me I wouldn't. So I went up there and I started expanding my brand. I really, really wanted to focus on what I wanted to do in life. And I had about $2,000 to my name at the time. And I was traveling to Las Vegas after New York, and I was down to probably my last $250. And in life, you're going to be challenged at all times. When your back's against the wall, you can either do two things. You crawl up in the fetal position, or you fight your way out. And I wanted to fight my way out. So as I flew to Vegas, knowing that I was on my last dime, my dad gave me a text. My grandmother had passed maybe like a year or so before. Wasn't expecting any type of money to hit my account. My grandmother wasn't the richest person, and she's actually from out here in DeSoto, which is why this speech is really, really important to me. She delivered this here. She left me $3,000. And instead of using that $3,000 for instant gratifications that I talk about in life at the beginning of this speech, I used that to invest in what I wanted to do in life. I invested in traveling, expanding my network. I invested in going to other places and investing in photography equipment to further myself in the career that I wanted to take. I used that money to further myself to grow into that boss that I wanted to be in this flourishing stage of my life. When we talk about expanding network, a lot of people don't understand that it's great to be established in the place that you're from, and I'm from Dallas, but if you want to grow yourself to something that you never imagined, you have to take the steps to go somewhere and grow yourself in a new place. That's why I chose to move to New Jersey, to challenge myself to be around people who were like-minded and would ultimately put me in an uncomfortable position to be more comfortable later in life. I don't know if you guys caught that, but I want to be uncomfortable so I can be comfortable later in life. If I make myself uncomfortable right now and I come up here and execute what I'm supposed to do, this can lead to further opportunities, which will make me more comfortable. That way I'm able to take care of my family, give back to my dad, give back to my mom. They made huge sacrifices for me to be up here. They don't even know that I don't even speak about half the time. But adaptability, that's what you talk about when you move to another place, is being adaptable. I'm up there around myself now, because my dad decided to move back to Texas. But it's a place where I feel like I stepped outside of my comfort zone. I challenged myself to be something that I always dreamed of, and that what my grandmother would be proud of. She wanted me to go to the NFL. She wanted me to be successful in football, even though that didn't work out. But I know she'd be proud of me for me being here today. So at the end of all this, I really want you to remember that your habits become your destiny. Every single time that you wake up in the morning, Remember that the small things, like I know a lot of people make fun of me on Instagram for is making your bed. It's a small habit that you adapt every single day. You accomplish that one thing, and you build on top of it. Every single day throughout the day. It's the small things that matter. It's not about taking a huge leap and trying to execute everything in 24 hours. You write down your to-do list, you execute your to-do list, and you continue to execute that throughout life. It's about building successful days on top of weeks, months, and then years. So always remember, your habits will become your destiny.